right, boys, it is time for our 4-month check-in on the Nintendo Switch 2. So if you guys remember, about 4 months ago, the Nintendo Switch released in June, and a lot of people were kind of hoping that the console would do terrible, whether it was the weak launch lineup, whether it was the price of the console itself, or a myriad of other things that Nintendo has done recently that hasn't put them in the best spotlight. Well, 4 months into it, this is not me talking about my personal experience with the Switch 2, even though it has been used quite often. All right, I'm going to be honest right off the bat. I've been enjoying my Switch 2, but that doesn't change the fact that a lot of people were interested in seeing, was the Nintendo Switch going to flop or was it going to do well? There was a lot of people who probably wanted the Switch 2 to have terrible sales so they can maybe lower the price. But unfortunately today, Nintendo released information on how the console is doing, how some of the games are selling, and it's all looking pretty peachy for Nintendo. You see that the pun I did there? Keep rolling. So basically today, Nintendo announced that the Switch 2 just hit 10.36 million units sold in 4 months. All right, that is actually crazy. And because of that number, they're actually bumping up their forecast to 19 million by March. So 4 months into it, Nintendo has sold 10 million Switch 2s. And it's actually kind of crazy because if you go into a lot of the stores, whether it's a Target, Best Buy, whatever, you can find Switches that are in stock. So the fact that it's in stock, readily available, and they've sold 10 million units in 4 months is actually kind of mind-boggling. Not only that, but today they also released a trailer for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. A lot of people over the past few days have been talking about how subpar or non-existent really the marketing has been for Metroid Prime, which is a game that we've been waiting for years to come out, and it's barely gotten any kind of promotion. Well, over the last couple of days, Nintendo has been promoting it a little bit more, and today, as Nintendo has been doing recently, just out of nowhere released a new trailer called Survive for Metroid Prime Beyond. So it's actually pretty cool. I saw it, it got me hyped up, it did what it was supposed to do. I'm excited for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Let me know if you guys are also in the comments section below. All right, so initially, as we talked about in a previous video, Nintendo actually moved 4.54 million Nintendo Switch 2s during July and September alone, which is about double what they did with the original Switch in its first quarter. They also released that Mario Kart World sold 9.57 million units, which is a 92% attach rate, which is actually kind of insane when you think about the discourse people have had about Donkey Kong Bonanza. That should have probably been the launch title, but it looks like Nintendo made the right call because a 92% attach rate with Mario Kart World is actually insane. Now, when it comes to Donkey Kong Bonanza, they did also release that it sold about 3.49 million units, which Nintendo says is successful for them. It's kind of weird now taking into perspective how many games are sold now. So they actually announced recently that Dispatch, which is another game that I've been checking out, looks very interesting, really cool gameplay. That one sold 1 million units. And so it's kind of crazy to kind of now look at the perspective and be like, is that good? Is it bad? For Nintendo, they said it's a good number. So if they're saying it's good, then I guess it's good. But Donkey Kong Bonanza, 3.4 million units sold, which I think is pretty awesome. And they took a really big risk going with Donkey Kong over making another Mario game. The craziest thing about this whole thing is that the holiday season hasn't even started and Nintendo is already doing crazy numbers. The other really big piece of news that we actually saw from the numbers released by Nintendo was that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet actually sold really well these last few months. So I don't know if that free upgrade for the Switch 2 maybe increased the number of sales recently. Also, the original Switch is like really close to overpassing the Nintendo DS as the best-selling Nintendo console, and it's so close to beating the PlayStation 2 as the best-selling console of all time. So we'll see if they continue to support the Switch 1. I wonder, and especially if they do drop the price on it just to get the numbers up, I wonder if they could beat the PlayStation 2 just so they can put that prize on their mantle. So we'll see, but they're getting really close to overpassing the PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo DS. With that said, it looks like a lot of this was actually good news for Nintendo. They didn't release any really information on any other games to see how third-party sales are going, whether key cards are affecting anything. But for now, it looks like at least things are looking pretty rosy for Nintendo when it comes to sales of the console and its games. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Are you enjoying your Switch 2? Did you return it? Are you looking forward to maybe games in the future? Are you waiting a little bit now that it's more readily available, that you don't feel like you need to rush out and get it? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but we had a lot of info today and a lot of it was pretty good for Nintendo. With that said, hopefully you guys found the video entertaining and informative. If you did, drop a like. If you're new, make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss a single upload. And if you want to support the channel directly, you can do so by checking out my sponsors, Control Freak and Aim Controller. I use them every single time that I play. Code OGXRAYZ gets you a discount, link in the description below. I'm not even lying, I've got them right here, my Control Freaks and my Aim Controller. Check out both of them, links down below. Code OGXRAYZ gets you a discount. And if you guys want to talk and interact, at OGXRAYZ over on Twitter, give me a follow over there. And for even more content from me, make sure to check me out over on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Links down below. You guys have an awesome day. Take care. Peace.